common/white weapons are the easiest weapons to get. Have you ever wondered which 5 of them is the best in this category? Well, I'm here to break that down. Keep in mind that this is solely my opinion. If you disagree, please don't dislike this video. Leave them in the comment section down below and I'll reply. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 5 is sort of a stretch, but I have to get it on there. It's Bloodblade. You know how much I love this weapon. I cleared badass mode with simply just a single white Bloodblade. You might say it's a green weapon. I won't argue, but right now it's very common to get the upgrade kit, so I will just count it as a white weapon. Bloodblade's got decent katana damage, fast firing speed, and a charge attack. It's got good range, and when you charge an attack, it helps you dodge a lot of bullets or deflect them. For more information, please check my How to Bloodblade video. I haven't counted, but Bloodblade saved me from lasers for at least 10 times. It even outclasses a bunch of blue weapons. I would say that the green version even outclasses lightsabers. The only con of this weapon, in my opinion, is that it puts your life at risk when you charge at enemies. Although you can counter a lot of enemy bullets, I died like twice when recording this video and I just straight up charged into a freaking bomb. If you want to craft a decent weapon to start, this is the best choice for a melee weapon. Number 4 is MinimuZ. Yeah, I know, you're probably screaming, this is a piece of trash I pull out from the starter chest every single time and I just ditch it in front of everybody's face. But listen me out, this weapon has so much potential, it's insane. Being a 1 damage weapon, there is no damage drop off. Meaning, what your buffs are, what your abilities are, it doesn't matter, it will always do 1 damage with a single pellet. If you have the double fire speed, decreased damage buff, it's basically freeze speed up, and it's absolutely insane. It doubles the DPS of this freaking weapon. Still not saying with Berserkers, the second ability is straight up quintuples the damage output. I can't explain how overpowered it is. Being a normal class weapon, it means it can attach onto almost every single attachment there is, including Poison Stone, Lightning Stone, and, you know it, Lava Stone. And it all has amazing effects on this weapon. With the right set of attachments and buffs, you can ramp this guy's damage up to a red weapon's capabilities. But most people don't see its potential, that's why I want to mention it in today's video. Still not as good when you have 0 buffs to pair up against it, so that's why I'm putting it in number 4, not number 1. If this guy is fully buffed out, I would definitely put this guy at number 1, best white class weapon ever. Next up is M4, classic weapon in real life, relatively new in Soul Knight. I don't think I need to explain this weapon so much. It's got higher than average assault rifle damage, it's got decent fire speed, I think it's actually just a bit lower than most cases. And it's got, relatively low energy cost, just 1 above the M16. Indeed, a very solid weapon. It's got very high DPS, literally no bullet spread ever, which is actually a quite good fact, and it brings out the best in the accuracy buff. One complaint is that it's got a very low crit rate. It's got like, I think, -10 crit rate, although it's not so high, which I think is quite low actually. But when you have the accuracy buff, every single point of the accuracy buff goes towards the crit rate because it's already very accurate. And so it pretty much steps up for this buff. One more factor that I think everybody agrees on is that the blue long tail shot is probably the coolest assault rifle shot in the game. When you don't have an insane blue or purple weapon at hand, pick up the M4 and give it a try. It will shred mobs like they're like paper or something. Just remember one thing, that you actually can't use this weapon in the attack speed doubles buff. You actually get like 50% decrease, but with 3 damage weapons, you only get a 33% decrease. So if you have that buff, I don't think you can use it. Next up is a quite sacred pick. I love the Staff of Nature. is either a high damage, high range weapon, and high group damage or AoE damage, which is absolutely necessary in badass mode, or just a straight a shotgun at front. It has high damage. 4 damage is very high. Don't get me wrong, 4 damage is quite high for something that only costs 2 energy and shoots for all sides. Staff of Nature gets benefits from a lot of buffs, including adding shots in shotguns and accuracy buff. And also, if you want to craft this weapon, it's got one of the cheapest crafting recipes for a staff. It doesn't require any shards, it only needs wood, which is like the easiest one to get. Indeed, a very solid weapon. It has uses in both pre-game and endgame because it's got high AoE damage and high single damage, which is quite essential for a good weapon in endgame and early game. And if you look at it, it's sort of a downgraded lightning staff, which I still think is a great competitor for all the other elemental staffs. This is definitely a solid number 2 pick on my list. Before we get on to number 1, I have some honorable mentions to say. First is groundwater. I think most of you guys expected groundwater to be number 1, but I think groundwater is really lacky. Groundwater don't have high damage output. It's just if you can click faster, it deals more damage. If you can't, it's basically a bad pistol. First, it's quite expensive. If you see it in shops or want to create it with materials, it's basically a no-go. The second part is I like to see Soul Knight as a casual game. I don't want to click that fast. I don't want to argue with other people about how this weapon is OP or not. So if I want it to be a good weapon, I would just say it's a good backup weapon. It doesn't deserve to be the number 1 spot. Second up, it's Bleach. Bleach has a secret ability which it doesn't cost any mana once you fire it up, but the damage decreases a lot. I mean, it sort of decreases down to a faster fire rate Snow Fox L or Uzi, which still doesn't catch my eye. I need high damage. I don't need to worry about mana that much. That's why it's not getting a high place on this ranking either. There's other weapons that I just genuinely like but doesn't deserve to be on this list, such as Volcanic Blaster and Wood Stick. Time for the moment of truth. This is the moment you've all been waiting for, the number 1 on the list. I know many of you guys will disagree, but this is in my opinion the best common weapon ever. It's the PKP. The PKP has one of the fastest firing speeds in the entire game. It does very average damage, but it only costs 1 mana, and it's got an additional benefit of having a nozzle so long that you can actually pierce his walls, which is actually quite interesting. The speed up time is not long, so it actually benefits from Berserker's ability and Knight's ability quite easily. Decent damage, high firing speed, good quality, easy to get, easy to make, a lot of benefits from attachments and abilities. This weapon crowns the white weapons. If you guys disagree with my list, feel free to comment down below which 5 of your favorite weapons are. And of course, have a nice day. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to not get coronavirus. So, goodbye guys.